Hey, this is Mike with Cal Sierra, and today I'm going to be showing you how to disinfect your equipment, either if it's a printer, scanner, a mobile computer, tablet, or even your own phone. As you can see, I have here industrial desktop and mobile printers, wearable devices, mobile computers, cordless and corded wires, as well as tablets. So I'm going to be showing you how to disinfect those. But this procedure works across the board. It doesn't matter where you are. The cleaning agent may just play a different role if you're in a medical field or if you're just in a very basic warehouse. But you can do this procedure on your office equipment as well, your regular phone, laptop, keyboard, mouse, any device that you touch on a daily basis. What you will need is a pair of gloves. These are to protect your hands and also protect you from touching any surface that may have been already contaminated. So you're going to put the gloves on, and we're going to be using the cleaning agent. We're going to be using either the alcohol wipes. There are 70% more or more alcohol based. I have a little bit of liquid alcohol here, some sandy wipes which are 70% ethanol alcohol, a rag, or we can also use a Lysol disinfecting wipes, again depending of which industry you work in. For the purpose of this presentation, I'll be using Clorox wipes, and we're going to start cleaning the industrial printers, mobile printers, and desktop printers first. To properly clean and disinfect the printer, we would start with the most touched area exposed to the user. So we will start with the control panel, make sure it's nicely cleaned. Any surface that the user might have touched or leaned on, over here where the labels come out most of the time, this area will be heavily touched as well, because when they're going to be ripping the labels, they'll be touching the covers here. So we want to definitely clean that outside of the case, as well as the interior components where the media is. So we're going to wipe the cover door right over here. We're going to saturate it really well, so you can visibly see that the surface is wet. We're going to open the cover, and where you normally would load the media, you would also as well clean it right here, because this is what the user will be using, touching heavily. Also, as well as the toggle bar right over here, because when they're loading media, they'll be touching this. So any type of surface that is exposed and visibly you can see that it has been touched, or you've been even touching, just wipe it, as well as inside of the, like a plant roller over here, print head. You can clean anywhere that you might yourself think of that you could touch when doing changing the media or using any type of loading or unloading ribbons or labels. After you're done cleaning the printer, disinfecting the printer, make sure that, first of all, the printer is completely off the power, cables are unplugged. Let the printer sit there for at least a minute before you plug it in. Again, if you're using a non-alcoholic based wipes, you want to wait at least 2 to 3 minutes just for the liquid to evaporate. If you are using alcohol base, it'll be about a minute or so for the alcohol to evaporate. But you always want to make sure you cover all the areas that you might be touched. Like if you're unplugging it, you're going to be turning off, so make sure that the power button is also covered, the back of the cover, anywhere that you know that yourself would touch, and we want to clean. And then we're going to leave this printer aside. Now we're going to move on to a desktop printer. Same as the industrial printer, we'll be cleaning or disinfecting the most touched areas, which is the control panel here, the tabs on the side where we open the media, and the cover itself as well as inside. So we're going to start from the top. We're going to clean it all the way around. The tabs, inside of the tabs is these little grooves right over here. We want to clean them as well as the front where the labels come out and get ripped off, just because I'm certain that you're going to touch it. On the side as well here, inside of the tabs, and even in the back, just because if you touch like wires or anything like that, you want to clean that as well. Now we're going to open the cover, and normally what we would do is take out the media and clean any type of internal components that you would use while loading the media, or you would touch while loading the media, including the sensors, the platen roller. And this procedure is also good for preventive maintenance, because then you will actually see all the components and clean them nicely so they always work for you. And any gears that are visibly accessible to you, you can just wipe. And then after you're done with that, you're gonna set the media aside next to it, leave it open for now, let the liquid evaporate, and we're gonna move on to the mobile printer. Same thing as any other printer, we're gonna clean the control panel first. With these buttons right here, you wanna make sure you get into it, just to make sure you cover all the buttons, you know, on the upper and then on the sides as well. Right here where the power and feed buttons are, your clip, your belt clip, you will also want to make sure it is nice and covered. Your battery, if you are replacing the battery, you're going to take it out, you're going to wipe it. Just watch out for the contact cards, so don't touch those, but make sure you wipe them all nice, just like that. And we're going to put it back in. The printer on the side, the tabs right over here, we're going to wash them as well, inside and out. Your charging ports, if you are charging them without using the port here, you're charging this here, and make sure the cover is also nicely saturated, just like that. You charge your power right over here, just wash it. And again, what we'll do is we're going to open the cover, and any tabs that you possibly could have touched while loading media will be also covering, and we're going to let it sit. Now that the printers are nice and dry, we're going to reinstall the media. We're going to turn on the printers and verify that everything is working properly. Next, we'll be moving on to mobile computers and wearables. We're going to starting with scanners. So again, if your users or you are using the keyboard itself and the buttons, make sure they are nicely cleaned inside, on top, your screen, around any high touched areas. Again, if your battery gets removed, make sure the battery, besides the contact area, is nicely wiped. Set that aside. I'm gonna put the strap also, the grip handle, the trigger. If you use the stylus, remove the stylus as well. Clean that. Insert the stylus. Set it aside. If you're using a tablet, same thing, whatever you touch the tablet, make sure that you wipe it all the way around, including the screen. Set it aside. Your mobile computer, same thing, screen, the power button, the triggers, the strap right over here where you actually keep the wearable. Another mobile computer, same thing, the keyboard, the screen, make sure you get into the keys. I would recommend using a alcohol-based wipes for mobile computers or wearables that have the attached keyboard, just in case the liquid from non-alcoholic based agent gets into the electric components. You don't fry your equipment, so make sure that first of all it's powered off, the batteries are removed, and then use the alcohol wipes, the alcohol based agent, to clean your mobile computers with the keyboards, to make sure that you don't fry anything inside. And just wait before turning them on and putting the batteries in. Wait couple minutes for the agent to evaporate. And same thing with TC8000s going around, the trigger bar, the handle, the strap. If you remove the batteries, make sure you wipe the battery all the way around. Set it aside. And for these wearables, make sure you unplug anything that is plugged in and unpluggable. Clean it nicely. The wire all the way through. The trigger bar, the scanner itself, the ring holder, inside and out. For the wearables, again, if you're using battery operated ones, make sure you remove the battery, set it aside, and start cleaning it all the way around, whatever the most high touched areas are. The strap right over here, inside, outside, and then you set it aside. We would recommend that you use, instead of using one wipe for all of them, you use one wipe per device to eliminate cross contamination. But once they dry, you insert the batteries, turn them back on, make sure everything works properly. And now we're gonna move on to the scanners. If you have scanners that are wireless, make sure that you remove the batteries first. Make sure that there's no power going into them. So just remove the batteries and start cleaning them. Same way as you would do normal devices, just go all the way around. Same thing, just use one wipe per device to make sure there's no cross contamination. Wipe your batteries. Again, avoid the contacts to make sure you don't create any shorts. I'm gonna wipe them like that. Same thing all the way around. Make sure your trigger bars, your buttons, your straps, and everything around it is nicely cleaned as well. For the scanners with the wire, if your wires are exposed to the users, you do want to clean it, part of it, or even the whole thing if you can. Just again, just grab the wipe and just go along the wire. But with the scanners, you're just gonna do with the grip, the trigger, the top, the sides, and the front of the scanner. If you're using any type of agent that leaves you with the residue on the scanner window right over here, make sure you wipe it with a paper towel or something like that, so there's no residue left on the screen, because you don't want to skew your scans. But anywhere you know that the device has been touched, just clean it as much as possible. Disinfect it. For the scanners with the cradle itself, same thing, just go around as you would normally with a regular scanner. Just clean it all the way around, as well as the cradle. So you're gonna take the cradle, you're gonna clean it, just make sure it's unplugged, because there's a contacts cover here, charging ports. Same thing inside, just wipe it and let it dry before plugging it in. And then once everything dries, reassemble it back in, turn it on, make sure it works.